Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time. I'm Celeste Guiano. I'm currently the chair of professionalization task force in IOCE, and this is the second webinar in a series of webinars about professionalization globally. And in this time, we have our Dr. Marcia Joppert as our guest speaker, and we are so proud of that. And well, we are trying to renew the task force, and we have a great group working about professionalization. So I would like to invite you to be aware about the news about the group. And I don't know if Alfredo is here and want to say some welcome words. Is Alfredo, are you there to say some
Yes,
welcome?
Celeste, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to me be here with this task force presenting Marcia, and I'm grateful that is our new doctor in the community. And well, I think many people is coming, and a couple of minutes in the world could be great for the presentation. Marcia, it's a great job. So please share with us all your knowledge. We are grateful to hear you.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm only presenting. She doesn't have need a big presentation, but I will present Dr. Marcia Joppert. She is a doctor in evaluation and applied research method at Claremont Graduate University, holding a master's degree in administration and public policy from the University Institute of Lisbon, and executive master in business administration from the TSM Business School in the Netherlands, and a degree in civil engineering from the Polytechnic School at the University of Sao Paulo. With over 30 years of experience, she specializes in program management, monitoring, and evaluation. She is one of the founders and currently director of the Brazilian Monitoring and Evaluation Network. She has past engagement as an executive committee member of RELAC and executive board member of IOC. She is also a member of the American Evaluation Association since 2009. So in this presentation, Dr. Joppert will present the results of her recently defended doctoral dissertation. The study is about mapping evaluation education opportunities globally and analyzing how they align with the skills of transformational evaluators and the needs of young and emerging evaluators. And this webinar, we hope to have some VOPEs to identify spaces and opportunities to promote and foster capacity building in its members, and to deepen the understanding of how the evaluation ecosystem is constituted from the academic side, and as well as to open the landscape to identify and create partnerships to contribute to the rest of the ecosystem. So I will give the floor to Marcia Joppert, and then after the presentation, we will have a question and answer moment. So please, you can share in the chat box your questions. Marcia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I want to thank you all of you for being here today. So to repeat my defense that was held on Wednesday, and I want to also thank Celeste and Alfredo for this invitation and for the leadership on this professionalization task force. I think we have a lot of work to do there, and I think education, of course, plays a pivotal role in professionalization. So let's start. So the title of my dissertation is Evaluation, Education in a World in Transformation, the Way Forward. It expresses my interest, my passion in investigating how we are preparing professionals to evaluate objects beyond projects and programs. This dissertation is a dream come true because so at my age, I didn't want my study to end up in a shelf. So I wanted to do something relevant for the field. So I have 5 parts. The first is an introduction. I will talk a little bit about the literature review, and then jump into the 3 studies that encompass my research. Then I present my conclusions and discuss some of my results, presenting some strengths, limitations, and future implications. So before I start talking about my research, I would like to invite you to see this short video. And
you know, I can hear the video. I don't know if the others.
You are not listening?
No,
that's...
I'm not listening.
Sorry. Yeah, I can. Okay. So the video talks about the challenge that we have regarding the change that the world is facing today. So to take care of, it's a manifesto, and to take care of the planet and the earth and the environment is our responsibility. And so we are all facing the effects of climate change. And of course, so we are in Brazil, here is winter, so almost spring now, and I didn't wear any coat, you know. So we have here 30 degrees Celsius during the winter. So this is really challenging. So I will. It's a shame because it's a nice video and a good warm up, but I'll start. So for the ones that are not very aware about what evaluation is, actually it was difficult to explain to my mother. She wanted to know, what do you do exactly? And so we all in evaluation field have this challenge to explain what evaluation is. So evaluation typically involves a systematic process of identifying criteria or principles for assessing value or worth of an object, compare it to those criteria, and arriving at conclusions that can inform decision making. And since evaluation started as a professional activity, mainly in the US in the 30s, the traditional objects have been projects and programs, and not generally connected to systemic issues. With the awareness that the global problems that are affecting and threatening the planet require the mobilization of the whole society and systemic approaches, some global agreements have been put in place. United Nations, for example, promoted the Agenda of Sustainable Development, the Agenda 2030. Probably most of you know about this agenda that comprises comprehensive 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And as this global agreement's relevance has been recognized, evaluation also started to be considered even more strategic to track, communicate progress, and assess impacts. So the purpose of my research, could you please mute your mic? I don't know who's talking, but yeah, thank you. The purpose of this research is to investigate how evaluation education programs, that is the postgraduate courses, academic courses, can adapt to the evolving challenges in the field of evaluation as we have this rapidly changing world. the goal of my lit review was to examine the landscape of knowledge base and identify gaps related to aspects of analysis of evaluation education. So it sets the context for professionalization of evaluation, the changing global landscape, and the implications for the practice of evaluation and evaluators education. I started by examining a framework published by Pichiotos on an article where he puts 6 main factors for professionalization in evaluation. And I analyzed each one, highlighting gaps and challenges in evaluators' education. Then I tried to contextualize the transformations the world has been facing since the Industrial Revolution and technological advancements, which bring progress, of course, but challenges at the same time, in demanding sustainable and equitable approaches. This context underscored the role of evaluation in evidence-based policymaking, systemic change, and adaptation, with a call for transformational evaluation. So the literature review reveals a gap in empirical research on consultation with experts and intended audience about the key components of an exemplary postgraduate evaluation program. This gap raises inquiries regarding the authority responsible for determining programs curricula, the methods employed to equip students, and the specific career paths being targeted. The path forward involves addressing the challenges of anticipating a market demand for evaluating systemic changes and equipping evaluators with the advanced competencies they will need for these complex tests. Well, the study used a sequential mixed methods design conducted in 2 phases. Phase 1 comprises 2 qualitative studies. So the first, interviews with international evaluation experts, and the second study, focus group with Young and Emerging Evaluators. And after analysis, I started phase 2, which was a mapping of the current evaluation program landscape and a content analysis based on some criteria. So study 1 gathered qualitative data from international evaluation experts through semi-structured interviews, which were recorded and transcribed, and it aimed to answer my research questions 1 and 4. That is, so the international evaluation experts' perspectives regarding this idea that evaluation has a role in supporting systemic changes, and what should be included in evaluation education to prepare better professionals involved in systemic changes evaluation. So I plotted here the participants on a map. So I had participants from all the continents. It was the selection process used a purposive reputational sample snowball method. So the first initial 5 subjects were leaders of international VOPEs. VOPEs, for the ones who are not aware, are voluntary organization for professional evaluation, like the American Evaluation Association. So the first interviews were from the International Development Evaluation Association, the International Evaluation Academy, the Global Evaluation Initiative, and IOC, the International Organization for Cooperation in Evaluation, which is like the umbrella for the VOPEs. Just a moment. There's always a dog barking in a Zoom meeting, right? So sorry. Well, at the end of the interview, these five first interviewees were asked to nominate 3 to 4 other experienced experts with contribution to the international debate on the importance and role of evaluation over the last years. These nominated experts should represent some groups, specialists, so multicultural evaluation practitioners and commissioners, or authors of books and articles that discuss evaluation as a professional field, leaders or former leaders of VOPIs, and leaders of formal evaluation education programs or researchers on evaluation. I had 58% of women, 79% were white, and all of them had master's degree or doctorate degree, more doctorate degree. So it was a very qualified sample, academically speaking. So the study one explored international experts' perspectives regarding this role of evaluation and the implications, but it was a long conversation, so 30 to 45 minutes. I asked about their background, their perspectives on the role of evaluation, and some reflections in the field also appeared. So what do they see, if they see different practices, how this change is impacting their professional life, what challenges they see ahead, and finally, the barriers and obstacles to change the way evaluation is practiced, and the implications for evaluation education in terms of topics, approaches, methods, and other characteristics. So based on this script and based on my research questions, a preliminary set of 7 codes was established. This was for the qualitative analysis. So after cleaning the data, I established these initial 7 codes. And of course, many subcodes emerged. And then I proceeded a very detailed qualitative analysis, content analysis, coding all these topics using MaxQDA. Well, the findings are that, yes, evaluation has the potential to contribute to transformative change, but this potential can only be achieved through a change in how evaluation is conducted. And this change implies in a better focus and use of theories of change, because theories of change are instruments that put your eyes in the future. Context responsiveness, so being more responsive to each context, including equity and environmental sustainability criteria when you do an evaluation, and integrate unheard perspectives, so people that are normally excluded from the conversation, and the adoption of approaches that align it with these ideas, such as systems-oriented, participatory, empowering evaluation, developmental, and utilization-focused evaluation. So these were the approaches more cited, the most cited when talking about what approaches would be better to use. So, however, it's not that easy. Evaluation is a very complex field, so the field faces challenges in incorporating this kind of criteria like sustainability and equity, also establishing evaluation ecosystems and adapting to the demands of the current era. So commissioners are already demanding complex evaluations, systemic changes evaluations, And it seems that we don't have professionals enough prepared for that. Study 2 aimed to collect perspectives on the role of evaluation, also in supporting systemic changes and interests and needs regarding evaluation education. It was a qualitative study also using a focus group held online during GLOCO 2022 and consisted solely of young and emerging evaluators, which I will refer to as YEE from now on. And the reason to have this second group was because I believe it's imperative to prepare the new generation of evaluators for the challenges ahead. And each aimed to answer questions. So I had specific questions in my research regarding the barriers YEEs face to access evaluation education opportunities and their interests in terms of themes, approaches, and methods. Also, their vision about what should be included in education programs. I didn't have many, so 11 participants, but it's a good number for focus groups. They were all representatives and members of Evaluate networks. They were also representatives from different continents. And for the ones who are not very aware about what is considered a YEE, so are people that are basically under 35 years old and less than 5 years of experience. So many of them are already working in the field as research assistants and eval practitioners. So 73% were already working as evaluators. 18% were students, and I had 64% of women. Actually, there are more women in our field than men. So the focus groups protocol included some semi-structured questions based on the research questions and the questions adopted in study 1. So after a plenary discussion about what transformational change mean to YEE and how evaluation support transformative change and why education is crucial to acquiring knowledge, we divided the group in 3 big breakout rooms to discuss their challenges in accessing education opportunities, what should be the priorities for evaluation education programs to meet their needs, and what should programs look like to prepare them to be involved in systemic change evaluations. And then we had a plenary session. So all these parts were also recorded and transcribed using Otter. And the analysis was similar. So the coding tree had 4 main codes. And so the discussion about transformation, the setbacks they face to access education opportunities, sometimes personal challenges, sometimes barriers created by the organizations they work for, barriers regarding availability of courses in their locations, or affordability if they are too expensive, and curriculum appropriateness, and the priorities to meet their needs, and topics, approaches, and methods that they think are likely to gain more importance in evaluation practice in the coming years. The findings is that, so the first that impressed me a lot is that they say that transformational change involves shifting from traditional linear models, so the models that we used to have in traditional evaluations, to a systemic way of thinking. And the systemic way involves recognizing the interconnectedness of global and local events, G-local, and expanding evaluators' knowledge to effectively address complex issues such as climate change and poverty. For them, for the future of evaluation practice will involve professionalization, youth engagement, decolonization, and technological integration. I like the way they highlighted professionalization in their talks. In terms of approaches, utilization-focused evaluation, participatory approaches, also mixed methods and innovative tools. They talked a lot about introducing artificial intelligence as a way to facilitate transformative evaluations and big data and machine learning. Meeting YEE expectations for accessible education, engagement in communities of practice, and their inclusion in real-life evaluation processes with mentorship, this is important, is crucial for building capacities. So they need more than just start. They need some support, some extra support. So finally, study 3 was a mixed method study and was conducted to compile a global list of formal postgraduate evaluation education programs provided by academic institutions globally. It was aimed to assess the extent to which these programs covered the recommended characteristics from the 2 previous groups to equip evaluation professionals with the skills needed to tackle challenges in an ever-changing world. Additionally, a focus in assessing the extent to which these programs cater on the needs and interests of YEEs regarding evaluation education. So it aimed to answer the questions 5 and 6. It was a long process. First, I used archival data and website search techniques to collect data on postgraduate programs worldwide. The initial sample was framed from previously published articles in the US and other regions, such as Latin America and the Caribbean and Africa. One of my sources was Celeste's study, but also I supplemented with listings because I thought it were more updated, maybe from the American Evaluation Association, the Canadian Consortium of Universities for Evaluation Education, the Réseau Francophone d'Évaluation, and the European Evaluation Society. All these organizations have listings of programs, of opportunities for evaluation education. So after compiling all this data, I compared the list of countries identified as offering programs to the complete list of countries and identified countries that did not offer any program. Then I processed the name of those countries and the area of influence of regional VOPs in Asia, Africa, and Middle East, and clear centers, Africa and South Asia, and consulted them about the existence of academic programs in their region, aiming to fill any gaps in the data. So I used the VOPs directory published by IOCE to find the contacts. So after the second data set was incorporated into my initial list, I concluded that was enough. No additional reliable information sources were available. And then I finalized the preliminary list with 407 programs. After all, I had to undertake a rigorous data supplementation because I needed more data to my analysis. So I collected data of program objectives, curricula, time to degree and language and cost, and validated all this data, this 407 data, by visiting each website, each program website. I had a definition. I adopted the same definition of program adopted by other authors. So multiple courses, seminars, practical offerings, and so on, designed to teach evaluation principles and concepts. And I also defined an inclusion criteria. So it had to be university-based graduate degrees, master's or doctoral diplomas and certificates offered by universities or teaching institutions of any modality, online or on campus, in any language, and offering at least 2 courses with the word evaluation in the title. And so this study did not include professional development programs and settings that offer only 1 or 2 courses or single workshops. The cleaning process was based on programs that I didn't find and programs that did not fulfill the inclusion criteria. At the end, 271 programs from 39 different countries spanning 6 continents were included in the final list. And the data collected in this study was shared with the Global Evaluation Initiative to create and publicly disseminate a comprehensive global directory of postgraduate academic programs. And this data were put on Better Evaluation Knowledge Platform. So this is the link in case any of you want to take a look. I think this is a big accomplishment of my study. So have this information publicly available for people like me that want to search and choose a program to study. And this can be like a life-changing. Well, here you can see the distribution of programs by region, by type of program, and by teaching modality, and by language. So you see that most of programs are based on North America, or US and Canada, but we don't have a low number of programs in Latin America and the Caribbean. 35 is pretty good. Africa is 33. Europe is a surprise for me, so just 23. So there are 29 countries in the European Union. And in Asia, it also was a surprise for me. I don't know if because of the limitation that only searching websites that had English as a translation, I wouldn't be able to read Chinese. I wouldn't just be able to translate it. But 3 programs in Asia is like not a lot. In Australia, 2 programs, it's okay. So I had 46% of master, 37% certificates, and 17 doctorates. And also surprisingly, still 45% of the programs are presential. I know that because of COVID, many programs started offering online courses or starting being hybrid or blended, but actually just 16% were mixed and 20% were online. And this information was not available for 16%. And in terms of language, of course, English is the most spoken language in this program, so 74%, but Spanish is well represented, also with 13%, French 10%, Portuguese always neglected 5%, and other languages like Italian or German 3%. Arabic also I found. Well, so by analyzing all that qualitative data, I defined this 6 criteria for my analysis. The first one was focus. So to what extent these programs are non-specialized or specialized. Core curriculum, I identified 4 elements that make a complete core curriculum. Of course, always thinking that this is considering systemic changes, evaluation of systemic changes. So, but I think it's a good set of elements, fundamentals of evaluation, evaluation theory or comparative theory, research methods, it's very, very important, and statistics. In terms of topics, the topics that should be included somehow in these programs, systems thinking, of course, sustainable development and climate change, decolonization, conflict and violence, workforce, and still COVID-19, because COVID-19 impacts will have to be assessed for a long time. And in terms of approaches, I already mentioned some of them. So culturally responsive evaluation, equity-focused evaluation, systems-oriented, empowerment, participatory evaluation, environmental, developmental, utilization-focused evaluation. And in terms of methods, of course, we should have always quantitative and qualitative methods, but it's important to have mixed methods that are the combinations between this quantitative and qualitative. In terms of soft skills, they talk a lot about the importance of incorporating skills like project management, as evaluations are sometimes complex projects, and communication, which is crucial, new technologies, and practical and mentorship together, and a link to professionalization topics like competencies, which are being developed by many VOPs, ethics guidelines, standards guidelines. So take care about the quality of evaluations. So I created some rubrics in a rating system, was conducted to create categories for each aspect of analysis. So each program was analyzed individually, and the codes were assigned using this system, this rating system. Well, the code attribution was made only by me, and it's one of the limitations of my study, and was based on analyzing the descriptions and names of courses and other requirements. The information is not standardized, so I had to read many parts of the description of the courses. And this is different between regions. And additionally, I also examined associations between the independent variables using Purcell's chi-square test and likelihood ratio. And I considered group differences statistically significant when the p-value was less than 0.005. Well, findings. So first, availability. The analysis begins by examining the availability of courses, and it reveals that only a limited number of countries offer specialized programs in evaluation. And a comparison between Global North and the Global South shows a significant disparity, with the Global North, of course, offering more programs, corroborating with the YEE's claim about the unavailability of courses in the Global South. In terms of thematic focus, I found that although non-specialized programs are more likely to foster interdisciplinary vision among students, which is very important for systemic thinking, most programs tend to specialize in narrow, specific areas with particular fields And education-related disciplines are the most common. Then you have arts, humanities, social sciences, social policies, and human development as the second group. Public administration and management, governance, the third group, and economics, economic science, business and development, the fourth group. Health, with 9%, and others. And 70%, 76% are specialized. In terms of core curriculum, the analysis reveals a substantial gap in providing that recommended core curriculum. So bringing back the elements I told you in slide 24, with only a minority of programs offering a comprehensive curriculum that covers the 4 essential elements. This discrepancy is found across various programs, types, regions, disciplines, and modalities. So you see that, of course, because education has the most programs, maybe, so education has are the programs that offer more complete curriculum, core curriculum, than social science, health, others, economics, public administration at the end. More in global south, much more in global south north than in global south. And in terms of types of programs, doctorate are the programs that offer more complete core curriculum. And on campus also are the most ones. Okay. In terms of topics identified as crucial for evaluation practice in the future, the inclusion of these emerging topics, such as sustainable development, social justice, and climate change, so reveals a prevalent lack of incorporation. So 70% of the programs don't cite any of this topic, don't mention, don't declare, and don't mention. And then regarding approaches, 76% of the programs don't declare or suggest any specific approach. And so the approaches identified as crucial in systemic changes are limited, included, but the study found that programs which included the topic mentioned before also tended to include the 7 evaluation approaches that are important. So that's it. So the most mentioned were culturally responsive evaluation, equity focused evaluation. Here is included gender focused, racial equity focused, and systems oriented 7%, empowerment, participatory or deliberative 5%, environmental just 4%, developmental evaluation just 1%, utilization focused evaluation just 1%. Okay, in terms of methods, the analysis reveals that despite the relevance for systemic change evaluation, only a limited number of programs incorporate mixed methods, only 13%. This finding suggests that disciplinary epistemology and research question nature may influence method selection. This is the final. So the findings indicate limited integration of new technologies in programs curricula, with a noteworthy difference in their adoption between Global North and Global South programs. And even though the importance of practical application and mentorship was emphasized by everyone as crucial, only around half of programs include practicum, and a small proportion incorporate mentorship, particularly in the Global North. Around 80% of the programs do not offer soft skills such as project management and communication. And professionalization aspects like the link with competencies were also underrepresented in curricula, just 80%, just 20% include these aspects. Well, in conclusion, this research offers, I think, valuable insights into the responsiveness of formal programs to the evolving challenges with the dynamic evaluation landscape. By analyzing the perceptions of evaluation experts and YEE, I think this study sheds light on the critical role of evaluation in driving systemic change, and also addresses the skills and knowledge required to overcome contemporary challenges encompassing complexity, equity, and sustainability. It identifies a need for evaluation education programs to adapt by incorporating interdisciplinary knowledge, core curriculum enhancements, emerging topics, essential approaches, mixed methods, technology, practical exposure, mentorship, and an alignment with professionalization themes. The research emphasized the importance of comprehensive education, particularly focusing on practical application and systemic thinking, aligning with evolving demands of the field. Through these insights, this study underscored the significance of bridging gaps in education to enable evaluators to catapult meaningful transformative changes. Well, some strengths of this dissertation primarily lie in its future-focused approach. So through the interviews and the focus group, we could maybe look ahead and say, so what are our challenges? Where are we going? And this emphasis on youth voice and implications for the future was deliberatively had. Furthermore, the development of a globally accessible directory, I believe, will greatly contribute to advancements in education and in community engagements with the field of evaluation. Finally, this study does not set the exact criteria for what makes an exemplary evaluation program. This does not exist in our field, but instead opens the door for the incredibly important discussion of how to better prepare novice evaluators for the challenges ahead, and also how to update competencies for the current evaluators. Despite of the mentioned strengths, also some potential limitations must be highlighted. The purposive snowball sampling methods used to identify the interviewees in study 1, of course, may not fully capture diverse global evaluation perspectives. Also, the recruitment of the young and emerging evaluators through social media and mailing lists might have excluded vulnerable populations and diverse linguistic backgrounds. The reliance on previous directories and VOPIS lists for the EEP database could lead to omission of newer programs and also outdated information. Information also from institutional websites could be incomplete, outdated, or biased, affecting the occurrence of content analysis. In terms of future directions, I think the study encourages a critical reflection by formulators and administrators of programs on curriculum suitability and graduate preparedness for diverse roles in the evolving evaluation field. It also highlights the importance of connecting evaluation education with professionalization and continued collaboration with the evaluation community. So more integration between the academy and VOPIS. It offers insights for potential student selection, considering different needs and aspirations of younger individuals seeking experience and employment balance, and more experienced professionals aiming to enhance their competencies, and suggests avenues for future research, a deeper analysis of evaluation education, an investigation of curricular conceptions, access disparities, and challenges in interdisciplinarity, and exploration of regional and cultural factors shaping evaluation practice and education. Well, that's it. This is a happy picture from the last AEA conference where all my advisors were present. And so the end of the adventure.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. And sorry I took longer. And
No,
I was glad to repeat it because so I had so much hush for 30 minutes presentation, which I didn't reach, of course. But yeah, that's it. I hope you like it. And I would love to open the floor for the ones who were there and didn't have the opportunity to talk, and for the others who are here. I'm honored with the presence of Michael Harnar because he has he is the coordinator, sorry, Michael, of Western Michigan University program, which is very well considered as a very good program. So your feedback is important to me, and also all the others. So the young evaluators here, Jessica, who was the director of Evaluate Brazil, who is the director of Evaluate Brazil, Adriana, who is always with me, everything, Clarice. Well, the floor is yours. I'm gonna mute myself
wow.
now.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for this big, I don't know if I'm saying okay, but in heritage you gave us, because we have a lot of information, and I would like to share some comments because I share with you this passion about professionalization in evaluation. And yeah, we have some questions there, so I'm going to read them. Yes, we have many gaps in evaluation education. Yeah, we still have it. And I was thinking about that in your study and in my study too. We didn't, I think in the first research, I think you said you have more than a list of more than 400 programs. That's a lot. And in my case, I couldn't find degree programs in evaluations. We have we still think in evaluation about the complement, like a pre-graduate program or a postgraduate program, like a little or short course, but we don't have degree programs. We don't think about evaluation. It's a question. Do we think about evaluation as a discipline? Do we really think about evaluation as a discipline? This is I think a reflection question, but maybe to think about. And the other thing is that I'm thinking about the enable environment, that allow to make better offers of programs in evaluation, adapted, not only adopted, but adapted to the context, to the territories, evaluations. And the third comment I have, or maybe to share some ideas here, is this great answer I think Young and Emerging Evaluators gave you about thinking about systemic thinking, to think academic programs. And in that sense, I was thinking that some weeks ago I was applying for example, and I don't know if I'm going to say it, okay, but it's gated evaluation or grouped evaluation. We were applying to evaluate 6 employability programs for young people in the country, but all together, you know. And I don't know if this is new, but it was new for me, and I don't know if we are prepared for that big changes, to make big and grouped evaluations for. So that's a thing that we have to think about when we think, about program evaluations. So the last thing that surprised me is the big percentage that doesn't offer communication skills or teamwork skills, because, you know, we are, I think you said that organizations, yes, ask, demanders ask grouped, or I think teams, you know, evaluation teams, and we have to work together, and we have to have teamwork skills. So, well, I'm going to read some questions for you, Marcia. I think we have the first one. I think it was Fabiola said, I'm glad that cultural sensitive evaluation is at the top of those themes, likely to gain importance. Could you expand a bit on this topic? I will read some more questions. Well, there are a lot of congratulations for you. Yeah, of course. Okay. Marcia, do you plan to deepen this study specifically covering course in regional perspective in Brazil? And Jim is asking that, if it's included in your sample. Okay. Could you share this record? Yes, we are going to share this record. So, maybe you can share your thoughts, Marcia, about that question.
Unmute. Did you see Fabiola's question? Fabiola
Mariles from Colombia, or I don't know if it's,
Fabiola, yes, this was an important conclusion, because the discussions about what it means to be transformative is that, so people, especially in interviews from Africa, they were very serious in talking that we must include people that were always excluded from everything, from policy formulation, from evaluation processes. So, and to be culturally responsive, I think, is even a requirement for the quality of evaluations. And the American Evaluation Association acknowledged that when they include this topic in the competencies. And it was not originally included, but it was included after that, after the first competencies was published. So I think this is very, very important. And then Jessica, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Jim also gave interesting suggestions about how to make this study more useful. So the public, I should be thinking about when I write the articles I intend to write. Then Adriana, okay. Yes, because as you know, the Brazilian network is kind of articulating some collaboration with the federal government, and I intend to propose an agenda for research on evaluation. And one of my topics is a big discussion about evaluation education in Brazil. We have 12 or 15 programs. I don't remember exactly, Adriana, because we also mapped it to the work we are doing together regarding the Brazilian competencies. So we found that the courses are a little bit disarticulated, and I think this will be a very good thing to do in Brazil. So Jim, to answer your question, short-term professional development opportunities are important complements, and GEI also have a place for this professional development opportunities. But in my study, I just included the certificates and diplomas and link it to academic environments. So that's why if that is not included, but TI is, because TI has certificates and is linked to CGU. And Michael, okay, look forward to having access to the recording to share with my evaluation colleagues. Thank you. Of course, we're gonna share the recording probably in IOC YouTube. I don't know if IOC has a YouTube channel, but we'll find a way. Thank you. And of course, we'll share the recording. What else? Erika?
Marcia, maybe we can open the mics or open the moment to open your mics and share some ideas, because we can, there are a lot of people with a lot of knowledge here. So maybe they can share with us too about, for example, we are presenting this time from IOCE, thinking about BOPIS, as Jim said, and maybe we can share some ideas about this kind of enabling environment for academic programs, to help academic programs to adapt to these new landscapes and transformative landscapes. So if you have some ideas you want to share, I think it could be a great opportunity to share your knowledge and experiences. It will help us a lot. As you know, BOPIS need to work, as Marcia said, very close to academic programs, and we have to strengthen our ecosystems of evaluations, so we need to work together. And we can ask some young and emerging evaluators, or those who are studying, to continue the work, continue the research, thinking about the short-term courses to, or maybe a new degree program. Okay, maybe. Okay, we don't have any. We don't have more
Michael.
questions. Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, thank you very much for this. It was very interesting. I'm glad I got to catch this. I'm sorry I missed your actual defense the other day. It slipped past my calendar, but I'm really glad to have seen this. Congratulations, well done. Good to see
Thank you.
your finish line. And I was particularly interested in this because I participated in the study itself. And so I'm glad to have seen it. The one thing that strikes me as really challenging, I've been here in academia now for 6 years, and we're kind of in the middle of thinking about how to refine the program in the future to meet the needs of the community. And I run into some real challenges. One of the things you're looking at are academic, or programs tied to academic universities and certificates or degrees. But the process of getting a degree approved can be really a long process. And the process of then changing that degree to add a course on maybe culturally responsive evaluation or systems approaches to evaluation is often a multi-year process just to add a course to an existing program, to go through curriculum and committees at the college level. In our program, we'll work with 4 different colleges. That means that each of those curriculum committees likely have to approve our request to change the program, to add courses. And so it's not something that we can take lightly. And so I just want to add that as context for your study and see how that fits within your study and how you heard from other academics and other people running programs like ours. And when we talk about adapting, transforming, addressing transformation, what kind of relationship do we need to build with the community to make that easier? Or even, it's hard to change systems in universities. That's kind of like moving turning an aircraft carrier. It takes time and effort. So anyway, I just want to add that to the conversation.
Yeah, this is a very good point. And I observe all these organizational and institutional challenges in my life, in my experience in CGU, and even because my student internship is working for TEI. You probably saw my posts around social media in the last 2 years. But I haven't thought about this. I think that because it's hard to change a program and to adapt, I think a program should invest very much in a core curriculum, a good core curriculum. So that 4 elements, I think that actually they are the most suitable for any evaluation. So if you have a good foundation, if you have comparative theory, so if you know about all the approaches and theories that are still coming up, and how to combine them, how to apply them, how to use them in an evaluation. And if you know about research methods and statistics, as you can do a very good and qualitative and quantitative data analysis. And I think the other things that are around this characteristic, you can complement in many other ways. So you have there in Western Michigan, a place where you practice. So in this place, that is for me, I see that place as a how you say that, think tank place, or a place where students can be there and practice, and a place that can be linked more articulated with VOPIS internationally, maybe because you are, I see you as an international program, and complement all the other things with workshops or with invitations for specialists to talk, to give a broader view. For example, Global Environmental Fund has a workshop that they are giving for IPDET about the nexus between evaluation and environment. So this is very important because, for example, I heard, I saw a study that economists, they don't study sustainability. 90% of the economists, they don't study sustainable development. And this is so weird to me. So you can complement in many ways and stimulate your students to be engaged. And so the participation in conferences is so important because it's there where we see the new things that are emerging from the field, the new discussions. So this being aware that it's not just studying and being a good technical evaluator, but also that you are part of a field and you are a professional, and you have to be updated with the trends of the field and connections, a network, and have a future vision of the field. I don't know. It's not just teach. It's actually helping everybody together, building this ecosystem. because so we have the academy, it's important, education is crucial, but we also have the practitioners, the commissioners that are requiring competencies when they hire people. And in Brazil, part of our competencies projects, we have some research. We did some analysis of the RFPs, the request for proposals, term of references. And we discovered that the most required skills are the soft skills. So the interrelational skills, the communication skills, the multicultural experience. So I think this should be incorporated somehow in the programs, and I don't see that. And for our practical life, this is very, very important. Now, the use of new technologies like ChatGPT, how you can ethically use ChatGPT to improve your evaluations. So no way, we can't wait for the bureaucratic processes of changing programs to incorporate this. It's now. I hope I
good
helped.
Yeah, good thoughts, really good thoughts. These are definitely part of the thoughts that I bring to the table on a regular basis to our students. And we have a very robust field experience piece to our program, which gets our scholar practitioners out into the field somewhere, doing the work, honing their skills. Communications are always part of our work. So no, really great, good insights. Thanks for this. I appreciate hearing those. I will look forward to being able to share this conversation with my colleagues as we move towards kind of evolving what we do here. So thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
That was great. A lot of ideas to be creative, because this is really hard to change programs. I know. I also know it. So maybe to think about why programs, core curriculums, and maybe we can work with professors to update with some creative ideas. And I was thinking that maybe next step could be in research to make some evaluation with the Kirkpatrick model, thinking and talking about talking with graduates, so maybe they can share with us how their knowledge helped them to apply in evaluation process. Okay.
There was a lot of discussion. Sorry. There was a lot of discussion after my presentation on Wednesday, and a lot of ideas emerged, Michael, about how we could organize the research agenda on evaluation education. And a lot of topics emerged. I have the recording. Maybe I will share with you also, as you can see what was discussed there. But at the end, a question raised like, who's gonna finance that? I don't know. I don't know. So I saw Eval Partners financing so many things. I think it's possible to raise money for a research agenda. And of course, as we as a field consider it important. And I think we do.
Okay, I think we are in the end. We had a 1 hour and 20 minutes conversation, great conversation. So we want to thanks, Marcia. Oh, Shim, do you want to share your thoughts?
I have a quick question. Marcia, what are you going to do next? Can you take your learning from this and find a job? Speaking of money.
Of course, I can find a job. My thing is that I want to strategically choose what I'm gonna do, because I'm getting old, as you see, and I cannot lose time. I want to always to do relevant things. For example, my voluntary work, I think it's something important to me personally. So to be part of the professionalization task force is super important, the Brazilian network. But I also think I have the responsibility to take my study and write different articles, and your ideas are very important, and write and talk. And I would love to give some classes here in Brazil, maybe, I don't know. And also because I had to invest so much in my language skills, I would love to be part of evaluation teams in out of Brazil. So it's a lot, I know, but it's me.
A
You
lot
still
of
have a lot to contribute to our field.
yeah. A lot of voluntary work. Thank you, dear Marcia. Thank you. Okay, we are at the end. Thank you a lot for sharing this time with us, and thank you, Marcia, for sharing your experience and your study and your results and everything. Thanks a lot. And then we will share these presentations and all. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Marcia, again.
Obrigada, gente. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Gracias. Adiós.